Hello everyone, welcome and welcome back to my channel. It is me, your girl, Goddess of Love and Truth Reacts, coming to you with another reaction video upload. If you are new to the channel, welcome. If you are a returning subscriber or viewer, welcome back. All of you guys' support is greatly and truly appreciated. If you have not subscribed to the channel, please be sure to go ahead and click that subscribe button. Click that bell notification for all so that you never miss an upload and so that you help me and my channel get in and remain in the YouTube algorithm to grow. Liking the video does the same. And as a friendly reminder, I'm going to keep doing a reminder until we hit our first goal. Then I won't keep reminding y'all until we get closer to the second goal. But right now, we are on a goal to reach 1,000 subscribers, and we are almost there. Woohoo! We are at 992 subscribers and growing. So thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you guys. Again, I truly, truly appreciate your support. I appreciate you subscribing. I appreciate you liking. I appreciate your comments. And I appreciate you guys sharing the video. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And to show my appreciation, I am doing a subscriber give back. This is going to be the first of many. Once we reach our first milestone of 1,000 subscribers, and again, we're at 992. I'm going to do a subscriber give back of a total of $100. So two of my subscribers will receive $50 each via Cash App only. So in order to qualify, you must have Cash App. You must have that bell notification on for all as well. All right, you guys, let's get into the video. Y'all know what time it is. On the next episode of Beyond the Gates, Season 1, Episode 32. All right, you guys. So let's get into this video. Now, I didn't quite capture the first scene. I saw it, and I have moved my antenna from my bedroom back to my living room so I don't have to be running back there to try to catch it. But I was so into it, I forgot to take the picture. So my bad. But I only missed the first clip. So it started off with Danny, honey. Danny done came into the house over to Martin and Smitty house, and Samantha was already down there, and then she was like, oh, hey, she was like, my dad's not here. She was like, that's no worries. I already saw them and spoke to them. I was actually coming to talk to you. And she was like, oh, okay, well, what about? And then she said, well, I convinced your dad that letting you model would be a good thing. So they didn't even tell her that they was going to do it. And that's why I was like, yesterday when he left um Danny, he said okay. But then when he got to the house, he told her absolutely not. So I was confused. So now Danny is saying again that he said okay and that he's going to allow her to manage her. So she was like, you need the best manager, and you need this, and you need that, and you need this. And she was like, well, Aunt Danny, I kind of, and then we're going to pause it there. Then let's go here. So Shanice is on the phone. I don't know who she's on the phone with because they pause it. And so I'm gonna give y'all the story how it come on so we won't get out of order. I might go off a little bit of script, but it's okay. So anyway, so we go back to the hospital and Shanice is on the phone. She's talking to somebody, but she's talking about the the runway show, the fashion show. So she was talking about how exquisite the runway show was and how much money they raised and how Danny did an amazing job. And then baby, she started talking about the tea. Y'all know Shanice is good for gossiping, honey. She was like, and then she said, child. I was cracking up. I said I do that too when I get on YouTube. I don't talk like that in person. Like how when I come on here and give y'all this, I'm still being authentic because this is how I am when I'm at home and I'm just chilling and I could talk to, just my people. But when I'm talking to like everyday people or business people, no ma'am. I use proper grammar. I use proper English. I articulate myself. I don't be saying her. I say her. I may still be a little country, but I get it right. But anywho, so she just made me think about that when she was on the phone, and she was like, "Child," I was like, "Girl, let me find out. I need to stop saying child," but no, I ain't. It's funny. It's cool. I could talk like that. Y'all my peoples, okay? I told y'all before, okay? Y'all know when y'all watch my first videos, if y'all was here in the beginning, y'all know I wasn't talking like this, but that's all right. We've grown to be family now, okay? But anyway, that's enough. I'm sorry, y'all. I be babbling. So she on the phone and she was telling them about it, and then she said, again, I already told y'all how she was saying the good things about the fashion show, and then she said, only for them to turn around and fire Dan. And she was like, they just used her for the money. I was like, I know, right, child. That's why she was like, child, girl, let me tell you, we got to get into that, baby. So then in come walks Eva with some flowers. And then that's what Shanice had actually said on the phone. She was like, they could have at least gave her flowers or something. And right when she said that, then that's when Kat came in and she said, I mean, not Kat, child, she'll have a whole fit calling her cat her arch enemy, but because a cat just be acting ignorant. But anyway, Eva brought the flowers like that, and it was just so funny that she said flowers, and then bam, she got the flowers, and then she was like, "Oh," and then she was like, "They actually for Laura," so she was telling her they was for Laura. Let me see what the next thing. Okay, so she was telling her they was for Laura, whatever, and then she was like, she said, yeah. And I guess Eva was asking about Laura's condition or whatever. And she was like, I can't give you that information like that. And then she was like, and then we got the new nurse. And she said, y'all have a new nurse. And she was like, yeah, for Laura. So she just transferred in like 3 days ago. And so Eva started putting two and two together. And she was like, what is this? She said, do you know this nurse's name? What is her name? Like that. She said, I didn't know we had a new nurse. And then she looked at her and she was like, wow, you being a little too nosy. So she paused, she answered the phone, then she come back, she kept talking. And Eva kept probing her. Shanice kept changing the story, talking about the flowers and other stuff. But but Eva kept coming back to the nurse. So she was like, well, what does she look like? And she said, have anybody ever told you you know? That's what Shanice, but Shanice knows it too, child. And she was like, I can't just be giving you that information. She was like, well, I was just wondering. I didn't know that there was any new nurses here. And she said, and then Nicole, if Nicole know that this new nurse is here and taking care of Laura, she might want to get her some flowers as well. So she was popping it on her or whatever. And Shanice was looking at her like, nice try, but anyway, I can't give you that information. So then we go here. This boy Doug, he's still at the casino gambling. Child, he ain't gonna never quit. And then there go crazy what's his name? I don't forgot his name. Joey badass. Joey back there watching or whatever. But he actually is winning. Doug is actually winning. He's every round he been winning. Then here come child, I be forgetting their name. We don't see him for a while. Randy, I think that's his name, Randy. Then Randy came or whatever. Then Joey back there looking sad because he realized that Doug is winning. He really want him to lose. So then we go here. This psycho woman, she's sitting up here staring at Nicole them picture and talking to the picture. And why she still here? She's supposed to be gone because he done gave her that money. So she's talking about all the stuff that she gonna do, and y'all know the same old, how she gonna make him pay and all that good stuff. So then we go here, and Andre is he's inside of his uncle's office, which is Ted, and he's watching a piece of the documentary. And he actually interviewed Nicole. I didn't know Nicole was gonna be in it, and apparently Ted didn't either. So he's watching it, and so he asked Nicole, he was like, so being that you're a psychiatrist, have you ever had to seek help? Had you ever had to talk to someone? You know what I'm saying? So she was like, yeah, actually she had. She said 3 times. She said the first time, she said, well, she didn't say the first time, she didn't number it. She said one time is when she had her miscarriage. And she said another time was she lost a patient. And then she said, and the last time, well, she didn't say the last time. And then she said another time was when her son Martin got sick. I can't remember if she said he was an infant or a toddler, but that's still right neck and neck. So he was a baby. And he got sick. It was like real bad. She named what it was, but I don't remember. And she said that it was a snowstorm, like a blizzard that night. And so she was like so afraid. And she said she couldn't reach her husband. and she didn't know what to do. I mean, she said her husband was the one that would normally handle like a crisis situation. She not good in a crisis or with, illness. That's, Ted thing or whatever. So she's like, she was freaking out. She was having a panic attack because he wasn't answering her phone. She couldn't get in touch with him. She said she finally went to the ER. Ted walked in when she said, and the other time was when I couldn't find my husband. I was looking for my husband. So he came in and he heard that part or whatever. So yeah, she said that she went to the ER and everything was cool or whatever. But she said she was still like, in panic mode because she thought that she was gonna lose both her husband and her her son at the same night because she couldn't reach him. Now, when Ted came in, Martin actually stopped the video. So I guess I am going a little bit out of order. Martin actually stopped the video and Ted was like, I didn't know that Nicole was gonna be in it. He was like, she wasn't, but I interviewed her, whatever. He said this probably won't make the documentary, probably just be like in the clips or something like that. And then they went over and they sat down. He was like, if you want to watch it, you can. So then they sat down and they was watching it together. So the part that I just said about her saying that they went to the emergency room and she kept calling her husband's phone, she couldn't reach him. They were sitting down together watching that part because Martin told him I'm not Martin, what's the name? Andre told Ted, if you want to watch it, we can watch it together. So they sat down and they picked up from where he left off. So he said, so what happened like that? And so she said that he got stuck in the blizzard. He was stuck, she said, on some road or whatever. But child, we all know that ain't what happened. He was actually with the psycho crazy lady. And that was the last night that he was with her. That was after he told her that he was done and he was going back to his wife. So that was that night, the same night that Martin got sick. And then she said that later on, she found out that she was pregnant with Kat. So all of that happened at the same time. I was like, oh, wow, it was going down. So he already having memories and feeling some type of way as soon as he walked in and heard her say, I couldn't find my husband. I was like, damn. And that's how his face was looking when she said it. Oh, yeah. And before they started watching it, he did get a phone call. And he picked up the phone and he was saying, hello, hello, hello. Nobody was saying nothing. And he kept saying hello. Like he could hear them breathing, but they wouldn't say nothing. It was psycho, y'all. Psycho dumb. And she just holding the phone, not saying nothing. And this is the part that I just told y'all where they were sitting down watching it. This is Nicole doing her interview. She was talking. And this is how he was looking because he know he effed up. So then we go back to Shanice. Shanice told Kat, dang, why I keep calling this girl Kat? She told Eva, hey, she was like, yeah, as much as I enjoy talking to you, but baby, as a nurse station, we cannot let these phones ring and keep ringing and ringing. So she went over there, she picked up the phone or whatever. I guess they told her that they needed a ER surgeon. So next thing you know, she ended up calling Doug. I thought I had a picture of Doug right here. She called Doug. Doug is at the casino. We already seen that Randy came in, and so right when Randy came in, first he was just looking at Joey, and then he went over there to Doug because Doug was like, and this is before Shanice got on the phone with Doug. Doug was winning, so then he was like, I'm about to go all in. So he put all his chips. I think he said $10,000 maybe. He said I'm about to go. He said I'm all in like that. So he was finna put the chips up there, and he stopped. He stopped from I think he stopped him, but where he touched his shoulder, he didn't stop him. And Doug phone rung at the same time, so Doug pulled his chips back, so he didn't actually do his bet. So he went over there and he answered the phone. And look how he looking. He looking at both of them like, why did you stop touching him? And then who was that he talking to on the phone? So this is what Doug looked up at him when Randy touched his shoulder or whatever. So Shanice on the phone, and this is who she called. She ended up calling Doug. Okay, well, Doug picture didn't come up next, but that's what she called. I'm going to go on and finish this story. She called Doug, and she told Doug they need a surgeon there, like, immediately. And he was like, can you have such and such do it? And she was like, no, you're the only one that's available. We need you here now. It's an emergency. He was like, all right, I'm on my way. So he went back to the table and he was like, yeah, I'm sorry, y'all. I can't play. I got to, pull out, which was good for him. So Joey didn't like that or whatever. So when he left, Joey asked Randy, what was that about? Why did he leave like that? He said it was an emergency at the hospital, so he had to go. So now we go back to Smitty and Martin's house. So this is after Danny came, and I told y'all, and this is when they're sitting down, and she tells Danny that she was like, yeah, but I can't. When she was Danny was saying, well, they want me to be your manager, and she was finna tell her, and she was like, well, I kind of wanted. And then next thing you know, somebody walked in, they looked back, and then it was Chelsea. So she was like, yeah, she was like, yeah. She said, what are you doing here? She was like, well, and then Chelsea, not Chelsea, Samantha started talking again, and then she was like, oh, you wanted Chelsea to be your manager. And then she was like, yeah, that's what she asked her. So we was like, oh snap. So they was talking. This is when he asked him, why is Doug leaving? And he told him he had to go to an emergency. Here go Doug arriving to the hospital. And Shanice peeped it right away. And she was like, Doctor, whatever his last name is, she was like, are you okay? Like that. He was like, yeah, I'm good. She said, you sure? Because she could tell his nerves and everything, whatever his energy, his aura, it was off. And she could tell she a good nurse, but she should have stopped him from going in there, but I guess you can't. So then here goes Psycho Lady and about to go do something crazy because she in the mirror, putting her wig on, got her disguise on, baby. She talking to herself and stuff. And then next thing you know, look at that reflection in the mirror. Eva pops up behind her, looking at her like that. And then she turned around and Eva like, She said, so she was like, what's up with the new wig? Like that. And then she was like, what are you up to? Like that. She was like, nothing. She was like, I'm just trying on a new wig like that. And then she said, what did she say? Eva, I forgot what Eva said, but whatever Eva said, her mama was like more like, oh, she said it was a disguise. Eva said it was a disguise. And then she was like, no, it's more like just doing pretend, just playing pretend. She was like pretending like you're a nurse that just transferred in. Mom was like, what? Then her mama started popping her stuff on or whatever. And she was like, why would I pretend that I'm a nurse or whatever? And so Eva, was saying it. So then her mama accused her. So she was like, oh, no. First she was like, what? I'm not like that. Then next thing you know, she Eva not buying it. So then she went ahead and she started saying, yeah, I did it. Yeah, I went in there and I offed Laura and this and that. Oh no, she even said I got on my motorcycle. I drove her off the road. So she basically admitted to everything, but she was being sarcastic, so Eva didn't take her seriously. But everything she said, she was telling the truth that yes, she did do it. So she can easily come back later and say, well, I told you that I did it, but you thought I was joking. Nah, and she was really serious or whatever. I was like, damn, she be doing Eva wrong. This how she looking when she's saying all of that stuff. And then she told Eva, she said, what are you? She said, what makes you think I'll do something like that? Who are you, boo-boo the fool? Y'all, I ain't heard that in a while. I used to say that too, like, oh, you think I'm boo-boo the fool. Let me find out, child. So then we go back to them. They still sitting up there and they watching the interview and everything. And so Andre, after they watched the interview, Andre was saying, he said, just looking at you and Nicole's relationship, he was like, I really just look up to you and I admire you and I admire what y'all have going on. He said, it make me feel like I could be a better man. He said, and be there for someone who needs me. And I was like, yes, be there for Danny. He said, be there in the right way. So I'm like, oh snap, he finna go on and do the damn thing for Danny and go on and stop thinking about Ashley and be there for Danny, because he do got some feelings for Danny. He just don't be mesmerized by her like that. But baby, as he kept on, building his uncle up, he was like, you've been a good man. You put your family first. You take care of your family. And then he said, unlike that Bill Hamilton, y'all know he can't stand Bill because he hate what Bill did to Danny. So he started going in about Bill and how Bill left his wife and destroyed his family or whatever. And he was like, and you're nothing like that. So his uncle say, enough. He just got mad and he was like, enough. I'm not the person you think I am. And he got up and he walked off. And then Andre was like, what is it like that? And then he was like, you can talk. He said, it just like how you tell me that I can talk to you about anything, that you there for me. He was like, you can talk to me about anything. I'm here for you. So baby, Ted started telling Andre everything. At first, I didn't think he was gonna tell him, and I was like, "Please tell him." First, Andre was getting mad. He was like, "You did what?" He was like, "You did what?" He was like, Andre looked like he was about to cry. Like that hurt his soul. I was like, "Oh, poor baby." Andre is a good actor, cause baby, them eyes was watering up and they was red, honey. And he was like, he was telling them everything, and then Ted wanted to stop him, and he was like, "No, tell me." He was like, "You can tell me." He was like, "I'm here for you, no judgment or whatever." Even though he was feeling some type of way, it's still no judgment. You know what I'm saying? Because that's his uncle. So even though he was just judging Ted, he not gonna judge his uncle. He feel what he feel, but he not gonna judge his uncle. So his uncle told him he was no different. I mean, I said Ted, he was judging Bill. His uncle told him he was like, "I'm no different than Bill. I did the same thing," and he said it was over 20 something years ago, and he I guess it was that night, and he said, "What make you thinking about it now?" He's like, "Out of all this time, what make it come up now?" He was like watching this video, and then he said, and then also he was like, she just popped back up, and he was like, "What?" So, and I was hoping too, because at first he didn't seem like he gonna tell him. I was like, "Please tell him that this woman is here, or that she popped up," because especially if it happened so long ago, and you're not doing it no more. I still think he should have told his wife, and Andre tell him is gonna tell him that too. That it's about time that you tell her. Don't you think you should be upfront with him? So I was like, he hasn't did it anymore, and so he need to tell his wife. So he was telling Andre that she's back. I was like, "Please tell him, because you need to have somebody on your side for when this woman busts you out, so it won't be like nobody else knew or whatever. So he told him, and I was proud of him about that. And then, like I said, Andre told him, "Well, I think you should tell Nicole before she try to tell Nicole." And he was like, "No, I took care of it." And he was like, "I paid her $50,000." Because he was like, "How you know it's taken care of?" He was like, "I paid her $50,000." But then he also said that's all she wanted was money. And Andre was like, "Well, she went away before and she came back. So what's to stop her from not coming back this time?" And then he was like, "Well," he was like, "Yeah, you need to tell her." He was like, "Well, I don't want to now because our wedding anniversary is coming up. So I don't want to make things bad for the wedding anniversary." And I get that, but dude, you need to tell her. You need to tell her. And you need to oh, and he told Andre that not only is she back, that she pretended to be Nicole, like she was gonna jump off the building so she could end up being Nicole client. He told Andre about her coming to the dinner. I mean, yeah, coming to the banquet dinner for Nicole. He should have told Andre that she was talking to Kat as well, but he didn't tell him that part or whatever, or they didn't show it because he didn't tell him that. But he was like, "Yeah, that's even more of a reason for you to tell her because this woman been lingering around." But Ted is under the impression that he's gone. I mean, she's gone. And Andre was like, "You still need to tell her because she could come back," which is true. So even though Andre is pissed off about it, he was like, "Yeah, again, no judgment. I'm here for you or whatever." And I was like, I know that lifted a burden off Ted's chest, and he did. He told him that he was like, "It just feels so good to be able to tell somebody to get it out." Oh, and he did tell Andre about her having an abortion. So Andre was like, "So you made her get an abortion?" And he said, "No, she decided to do that. You should have told him that your attorney told her to do that." But he said no, that was her choice to get the abortion or whatever. But he felt better about not better about himself, but it just lifted something off him to get that off his chest. And they still talking about it now. So then we go back here, and then Eva, this is after she done did that reverse psychology and told Eva she would boo boo the fool or whatever. So then Eva started feeling bad. They go sit on the couch, and Eva was like, "I'm sorry." And oh yeah, so she was saying that your dad wasn't there, and she was like, "But Alan was there." Alan is her husband that died, is her mama's husband that died. And she was like, they didn't have nobody. They didn't have, it was hard and they didn't have nobody. She was like, "Ted may have not been there." She said, "But Alan was there. We did have somebody or whatever." But she trying to say it's not the same. He not Ted or whatever. So they were still getting into it. So then she apologized to her mama because she popped that reverse psychology mess on her. And she was like, "I'm sorry. I know that, you did everything you could for me or whatever." So I thought I had Eva picture Nick showing and her looking back at her mama, being sympathetic. And she was like, I'm just afraid. She was like, I'm just afraid that one day you'll go too far like that. And then she was like, oh, baby. She said, I know that if I ever get that far where I feel like I'm going to go to the last, that you will be there to pull me back in. Child, you shouldn't even want to put that burden on your child to try to pull you back in from having a psychotic break. Like, are you serious? Are you dumb? You boo-boo the food, honey. So then we go here, she daydreaming. Oh yeah, when after Doug left the casino and went to the hospital, Joey also left, and she's sitting at the bar, and I was like, I mean, at the restaurant, and she's sitting at the table. I was like, Joey, but to come meet with her, and bam, boom, that's what had happened was. So they sitting up there talking. Joey popping his stuff on her, trying to ask her about her marriage or whatever, and then she changed the subject, and then he pulled it back, and then she was like, oh, you didn't catch the hint. I don't want to talk about my marriage. He was like, we're not talking about your marriage. She was like, he said, we're talking about mine. She said, oh, you was married? So he popped that stuff on her, probably lying or whatever. Then right after he finished, he started questioning her about Doug again, but she fell for the okie doke. Like, girl, you remember you said you weren't gonna talk about your marriage, you let the man run it on you, and bam, now you talking about your marriage. So then we go to the emergency room. Remember Doug was shaking in his boots and stuff, or looking crazy when he got there. Child, he over here sweating like a slave, child. Like he been on the mine working. He been on the treadmill running, like he done did a whole marathon walk, run, or something, honey. He trembling, shaking in his boots, and he's sweating. And I think that's Shanice right there behind him. I couldn't really tell or whatever, because sometimes, they not sometimes, they do be having nurses in there with them as well. So one of the doctors or somebody asked him again, was you okay? And they were like, Dr. Such and such, are you okay? And then they were like, look, they pressure is going down, it done dropped under something like that. So they were like calling his name again, asking him, is he okay? His hands were shaking. So then he stepped back and he asked somebody, can you take over? They were like, yeah. So they went ahead and took over. Thank God, because he about to kill the person. But they ended up, finishing successfully. And he had to walk up out of there. Look, he had to get up out of there because, baby, he was losing his mind. So this is still the story that I told y'all. This is how Andre was looking. I wanted to look at his eyes, baby. He was about to cry. He was just like, damn, dog. We ain't gonna rehash this because we already went over it. And then it's the same thing, even them talking to her mama. And I told y'all that part. So then Danny and them, Danny decides that she even though they just told her that Samantha won't Chelsea, I'm about to call her Cat, y'all. I'm not good with names, honey. Even though Samantha literally just told her that she wanted Chelsea to be her manager, Danny was like, okay. And then she just kept on, oh, well, then what y'all should do, we used to go to my house. I already have like a modeling thing set up. Models would die to have this. Most of them don't even have this. Well, she's like, they'll pay anything for this. I don't know if she said die to have it, but she was like, they don't have this. Like, this is something that most models wish to have or whatever. So when she told them, like, come to her house, then they both looking at each other like, okay, didn't we just tell her that I'm going to be the manager? But yes, she still did, telling us both what to do. So they get there, and Danny's telling her again that, most models want a place like this and have a setup where they can come and do stuff like this or whatever. So she talked to Chelsea, because Danny had to go out and get some. She talked to Chelsea, and she was like, I want you to be my manager. She was like, okay. She said, I know. She said, but let me handle it. Let me handle her or whatever. So Samantha was like, okay, because Samantha was ready to tell her Aunt Danny, I told you I want Chelsea. So Danny steady going in, and y'all see they got her screen over there at the top, and then she's sitting there or whatever. So Chelsea's sitting up there looking, and then Danny was like, and Chelsea was like, Mom, she was like, I'm doing it again, right? Yes, you are. You taking over there. And there go Chelsea face like, you taking over. And then it was like, okay, I'm sorry. So then we go back. That's when Eva was saying, I'm sorry, Mom. I love you. We already went through those conversations. That's when she told her we went through all of that. Ted and them, we went through all that. I told y'all everything. But I did take pictures as they came up. So I try to wait till I get to the picture to tell y'all more, but might as well go on and tell y'all as I'm telling. Same thing, we already discussed this. This is when he came out of the surgery with his head down because he knew he done effed up. At this moment, you knew you done effed up. Like, child. And Nicole kept telling him that, she sensed something, going on with him. And, if he needed to talk, let her know. And if she didn't want to talk if he didn't want to talk to her, she'll set him up with somebody else. But he was kept denying it, denying it. So he ended up calling him. He on the phone, and he tell him about what happened. And he was like, man, he was like, something gonna have to give. He was like, I be working. He said, I don't even get no sleep like that. He said, I don't even get, I think he said he get 4 hours of sleep, or he don't even get 4 hours of sleep. One of the two. He get it or don't get it. And then he said he told him about what just happened in the emergency room or whatever, and how that can't be happening. So he was like, and some got to give. He was like, and it's gonna have to be gambling. I'm like, yes, Doug, stop gambling. That's what you don't need to be doing, child. So then Eva goes to the bar. So I'm thinking Eva mama done popped it on her. You know what I'm saying? Because she always do. And Eva fall for it. But Eva be, peeping stuff too. Because just like how she got her mama put out. And her mama said that too. She was like, and then Ted had me put out. She still don't know that Eva was the one had you put out of Nicole's dinner. So Eva sitting there sad because she know her mama is on some stuff, child. So here come Andre. He's sad too. They both having a drink. When they be coming up in here, baby, they don't even have to tell the bartender what they want, baby. They already be putting their drink up there. That's how I used to be when I used to drink, honey. When I used to work, because I've been working from home since before the pandemic, since before working from home's been a thing. But the last time I actually worked in the office, me and my coworkers, we used to go after work to happy hour on Friday to this bar that was down the street. And babe, when I tell you, them people knew us. Like when we came off in there and sat at the table, we didn't even have to tell them what we wanted. They would come over there and they already knew exactly what we wanted, child. I was like, yes, honey, that's what I'm talking about. So that just reminded me of that. It was like many years ago. Nothing wrong with drinking either. Y'all drink if y'all want to. I just don't know more. But anyway, I got 2 bottles of wine. I bought some wine because the wine's on sale. That wine been in there for like 3 or 4 months. I opened one of the bottles and I drank some, and that was it. And they been in there like, child, oh well. Anyway, back to the story. So they sat down, and Eva, he was talking to Eva, and Eva was talking to him, and he was telling Eva he was doing the documentary at the hospital like that, and interviewing the nurses. And then so she said, have you interviewed a new nurse that just transferred in? He was like, no. He was like, I didn't know they had a new nurse. So she was gonna ask him to like describe her. So I was like, good, Eva's still on it. So yes, find out who this nurse is, because it is your mama. So I'm glad that she didn't give up on it. So she was trying to figure out any way necessary to figure out if this is her mom doing this, which it is. And I hope she does find out. I wish Andre, like I said the other day, I wish Andre would have caught her on film as well, but unfortunately he didn't. So then we go back to Ted. He's thinking about his wife, especially after seeing that video and then having that heart-to-heart with Andre. Then he called her. He set up some dinner plans, telling her that, he was like, hey, babe, this me. I was like, let me find out she don't know your voice. You ain't got to say, it's me. Baby, you just say, hey, babe, I'm going to take you out to dinner tonight. We're going to do this and do that, babe. Okay, babe. So they about to go have dinner or whatever. And then as he was getting up, well, he stood all the way up, and he was finna walk away from the desk. The phone rang. So he looked at it, and he decided not to answer. And that's why I was saying, please don't pick up. Please don't pick up. Because I think it's going to be psycho. So he ended up leaving out the office and didn't answer the phone. And it was psycho. Then she got mad and said, I will not be ignored. Y'all, she crazy as hell. This woman here. She played her role good. That's another thing she was telling Eva. She was like, when she said, she didn't say make believe. What did she say? I said it earlier. Dang. Well, anyway, she was saying like she was an actress and something like that or whatever. So she sat up there talking to that picture or whatever, and she said that she would not be ignored, and she gonna show him. And that's how it looked. I'm trying to scroll. So that was the end right there. It ended with her being a psycho as usual. So we're going to have to wait 2 days before we get another episode, because this is Beyond the Gates and it airs Monday through Friday on CBS at 1 p.m. Central Time. Just in case you guys, some of you may be new and never watched it before, check them out, y'all, and then start coming back and looking at my reviews, because yes, baby, not only do I review, I give y'all the screenshots as well. I wish I could put some of the videos and stuff on here, but I ain't trying to get YouTube to shut me down. But y'all know what's a good thing? Somebody put in my comments on one of my Country Wayne reviews. I guess they must be new to my channel, because if they been on my channel, they would know that at first I was putting the skits on there when I do the reaction. Just like how I reacted to Dennis, I was reacting with the video on there. And that's why I said on the video with Dennis, I was like, Dennis, don't be copyrighting me, because if you want me to take it down, just let me know and I'll take your video down. Because some people, they don't care. Now you can put up your little copyright thing and say fair use and say it's for educational purposes or whatever, and then they can't strike your channel and stuff like that. But I'm just starting with the YouTube thing, so if they say that I got to take their video down, I have to take my video down. Once I hit that first milestone and I get monetized after 1,000 subscribers or whatever, then I can start getting away with certain stuff and put my disclaimer up. But right now, I have to play it safe and I got to do what they say, because Country Wayne them had, I just started reacting to Country Wayne skits in, I think in February, I believe. And I had reacted like the full month of February. Then here come March, and I go and I look at my video. They had copyrighted every single video. So if you go back and look at my first videos, you will hear that you hear and see that I was recording the videos and reacting to them, but I had to blur them out to get the copyright strike off of there, because if not, they wouldn't let me hit my first milestone of 1,000 subscribers and getting monetized. So you guys just be patient. We're almost there. And once we get monetized or whatever, I'll be able to start reacting to them and putting my disclaimer, my copyright disclaimer of fair use where I can use it. But I can't really do that now, because then they could stop me from being able to, move forward and progress with YouTube. So be patient. We will start getting it. And once we get there and we get everything set up, I'm not going to play the whole episode, but I will record some of the episodes for y'all as we're reacting to it. And the same with the Country Wayne skits. And that's why also I've been telling on some of my other videos, I don't think I've ever said it on this video, but I know I've mentioned it on the Country Wayne video, that I have other videos, this other comedian that I want to start reacting to, but I'm not going to start reacting to him until after my monetization go through. That way I won't stop myself from getting the monetization. And also that's when I'm going to start doing the movie reaction reviews. And I got something else special for y'all that I'm gonna do reaction reviews on. Y'all gonna love it. Y'all gonna love this other comedian. Y'all gonna love this other. And that's why I said, I promise y'all, after we hit our first milestone, this channel it's gonna progress and it's gonna get better, better, better. It's just certain things I cannot do right now. So once we get it, I don't want to tell y'all about this other person that we're going to be reacting to and reviewing, because, baby, y'all going to be like, what? Y'all going to be tuned in. The channel going to probably blow up then, because, baby, everybody love this person. But anyway, that's enough. I just wanted to give y'all a little detail, give y'all a little FYI for what's coming up. So make sure y'all subscribe, tell y'all friends, tell your family, tell your lovers, tell your whoever, your side piece, your main piece. I should have waited and say that on Country Wayne. They the ones got the side pieces and the main pieces and stuff. Like, well, I guess they do too on here, huh? Because everybody been cheating, chat. But I promise y'all, we're going to have more reactions, and we're going to start back reacting with the actual audio and video of the content that we're going to be reviewing. So be patient, subscribe, stay with me. Let's get over this first threshold, and I promise y'all it's going to be better quality videos and everything. But thank you guys again for tuning in. If you have not subscribed as of yet, Click that subscribe button, click that bell notification for all so that you never miss an upload and so that you help me and my channel grow and remain in the YouTube algorithm. Comment, share the video, and as we say before we go, love, peace, and hair grease. Smooches. Bye. Happy Friday. It is Friday, y'all. Forgot it was a Friday. It's the weekend, baby.